OG will take a second to pick their heroes, it looks like, and they'll finally get things going.
Crit takes a moment to carefully slick his hair back into place. Game face is on for Alliance. Game 1 of this 2-game series set to begin right here, right now, as we enter our second heat on day 1 of group stage play for the International 2016. Heat number 1 already blew me away. Like, that alone would make for 99% of the year. That's like, man, I had some awesome games today. I love Dota. I feel like that was only the appetizer. We're getting closer to the main course, but we're not there yet.
I certainly hope so, because that was some of the best Dota, and the Execration eHome series was no slouch either, that we saw earlier yesterday as well. We got the predictions, LD. It's time. It's we've been 50-50, I think, on these for the most part. So,
well, as you work on your predictions, Mott, we'll introduce the players here. Can see No Town Crit entering the field of battle. It will be a safe lane Medusa for OG. And Fly going to be handling that Witch Doctor. So some cool combos here for the OG squad. You have the Death Ward and the Mystic Stake, but
wow,
they were ready for this. Hey, little Riki. And the arrow connects. Alliance, quick, decisive first blood.
That's a great Sentry Ward placement. It covers just about every little area. As soon as he walks up, they put another one down and they just pop the Metamorphosis. They get first blood. It's just that easy.
The reason why you don't normally see teams do that is if the Riki doesn't make that move into your jungle and you drop that sentry, you now are going to lose the D-Ward battle mid, which means Riki is going to crush you. But instead of Alliance, they find a second arrow, a second kill. Never ever enter this side of the map, say Alliance. They'll take Moon down. They now lead 2-0. Can OG get a bounty rune? That's the question.
I think they'll get bottom, but that was actually ridiculous. Moon's probably thinking that shouldn't have hit me. Bulldog will walk up. Does not get the bounty. He'll have the time walk away and avoid all of that damage, but Bulldog is going to be down in that bottom lane. He wasn't a part of those 2 kills. S4 hitting 2 arrows, both very close for just barely missing.
And set up there by AGM on the lumbering oaf of an ogre. But we'll see a quick recap here. Again, this is a very risky move, even just dropping the first sentry, because, again, you're going to lose the D-warding battle, assuming OG commit 2 sentries on the mid lane, and then Riki just does whatever he wants, or your supports have delayed boots, have delayed ability to roam, which hurts a hero like Ogre quite a bit, so... Yeah. It is a gamble. It's not like, oh, stupid Riki. Normally teams don't do that for exactly that reason, but
it's still a good
start. Pays off here.
I mean, I think they can still pick up more sentries later on down the road. It's just annoying to have to place them down. They still have the one mid, but it's kind of over to the left side, so he can still roam around from the right and see if he can find any sort of an initiation from that point. But it's actually
going to go on Miracle in the mid lane.
I think might be in trouble.
Trying to catch out the Drow Ranger, and they got him.
The Arrow Fire Blast combination is too much. I mean, if you don't see EGM coming in and you don't get out in time, then you're just dead. And it's a very easily ganked hero. I mean, it's a Drow Ranger, for God's sakes. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Bulldog is taking plenty of right-click damage. They won't be able to bring him down. No smoke screen. He also had no time walk for about 10 seconds, but he's able to salve up now. And Moon going onto Loda with 2 sticky napalm stacks. He's actually diving into the tower for a fair bit, but decides against it as Ake was giving him the good old right-click from the Oracle. So that'll be the end of any more engagement there in that top lane, but Bulldog is still taking damage in this bottom lane.
Yeah, the thing is, you get a first blood, you get 2 more kills after that, you're still up against 4 ranged heroes and a Drow. So if you don't keep on finding kills, things are going to be dicey, but it looks like they'll find another Mott, bringing down Moon in the top lane as Crit goes on a journey. This Riki moving through the jungle, I think was hoping to find the courier. Not going to happen.
This is insane. The amount of work EGM has done in this game. He's been involved in all 4 of those kills. Kill participation is at a premium right now for EGM, so that's pretty freaking nice, honestly, to have that kind of start. So really, like you said, you have to keep getting kills. They are doing just that, and right now, LD, I don't know what you need to do for OG. It's not like they're super far behind. They're still getting plenty of farm for their Dusa, and they have good mid to late game, but I feel like they need a lot more than that.
I think they're actually fine here. It looks really bad, but as long as they just stop the bleeding, give up kills, they are going to win these lanes. As Drow levels up, once you close in on level 6, basically by default, the lanes are yours. You start taking towers, you'll get a gold advantage from there. It looks really bad for OG, especially the way some of these heroes have died, but the Cloud comes out bottom.
He just got in range of the time walk after walking out of that Ricky smoke screen. It was very close, and he'll still take a couple of clinks on his way out. Now the TP's coming through. No Tail is rather low in HP. The smoke screen comes in. EGM is the one to rotate. He will not be in mid or top to help out there, but no successful kills for Alliance in that, or excuse me, for either team in that point.
Yeah, not yet, but Crit is sticking around. He may look to go back in while top lane. Moon trying to take advantage of the cooldown on Metamorphosis. In this matchup, whenever Metamorph is up, you're very likely in danger, if not dead. So while it's on cooldown, that's when you want to apply the pressure. Even with 4 kills and a first blood, Alliance are only leading by like 400 gold, 250 experience or so.
Yeah, and it's actually getting kind of worse.
It would be ugly if they weren't getting those kills, but it just goes to show you the nature of Drow when played with the lineup that can take advantage of it.
The CS advantage
will stabilize.
that OG have right now, the last hit advantage they have is actually kind of significant. And Loda is starting, he's up there obviously, but it's just the Medusa with 21 CS getting really good farm. And then even with the Death, Miracle still has 17 last hits as well. So that's just like you said, it's just the Drow Ranger with precision aura. It's just that helps so much. Crit is going to body block S4 once it gets this top rune leap, and it's going to be picked up by the Moran. That was a pretty sweet play. It's an Invis rune as well. I don't know. Crit should have seen the bottle, and he should have seen that it was an Invis rune, but they'll have to be careful the next couple of moments. As EGM is going to walk in mid, and we'll see if they go for anything here.
Meanwhile, top lane, Moon trying to steal this stack slash group of pulled creeps. Level 5 Batrider at 4 minutes in the off lane. Yeah, he died, but he is getting a lot of experience out of the lane.
Yeah.
And that's important because Riki really wants to devote his attention to the mid lane, bit to bottom to try and slow down the Void, but the key hero to keep on a good path is the Drow. And because this Bat is having such a good time, Moon doesn't really need help. He doesn't need to go to the jungle, and he can keep pressure up on the Terrorblade, who is slipping behind as far as net worth goes by a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's still 21 CS right now, but Medusa continues to farm fine. No Tail is sitting up on 800 gold, is going to salve up. Precision Aura helping. 2 heroes mid for both sides. Crit nearby. S4 has an Invis rune. The arrow will come through. There's the smoke screen. Fairy fires it enough. The Invis is going to come out. They don't have the detection, I don't believe. They had a sentry for Crit. He will not place it down. I don't know if they would have gotten the kill, even if they did use it.
And back and forth through the laning stage here. OG just waiting on the Drow level 6, and then that's where the pressure will mount. The first tower likely to drop is this bottom tier 1. Not something a Void is very good at counter pushing, as Bulldog will time walk off the Mystic Snake. But already you can see the tower at half HP, and it's not a duo that pushes that hard. It's Medusa Witch Doctor.
Yeah. It'll take a little bit of time, but they'll get there.
That's Drow for you.
Or they could just rotate the Drow down at some point and push together as a team. I don't think they'll do that. We'll wait and see if he decides to rotate.
They can definitely move her around. Especially if they're expecting a gank or some movement from Alliance, that's where Miracle will likely look to join the team.
Moon's gonna go top, but immediately Loda turns around and says, "I've got meta," and he's gonna turn on Moon. 4-10. Look at the flame break; it might burst it down.
He's gonna get
down.
two.
It will, and Ake is now gonna get caught out. Fate Edict will keep him alive for now, but the sticky napalm stacks will still stack up here. Ake getting chased down. Purifying Flames. Moon is low, and he actually sticks up, and he gets the kill. Ake turns around with a beautiful stick play, and level 3 Purifying Flames is more than enough of a nuke to get the kill, but they still lose Loda in the end, LD.
Oh, but Crit hunting him, stalking through the jungle, gets the ward down. He's already level 5 and change. You know, it used to be Ake would be the sacrificial support, but he's getting a lot more out of this dual lane setup than he normally does. It's actually EGM who's behind in the level department, as he's been focusing on the roaming early. For Moon, had the Terrorblade kill, could have walked away. I mean, I thought he had the kill as well, but just underestimated the Oracle's damage output as well as the stick.
Yeah, I should have maybe looked at the stick, and even then, I don't think... Moon had a wand. I don't think he used it. Still, now Loda's in trouble again. Top the smoke screen.
Bad.
Another sticky napalm. 2 stacks up. They have the cast even coming up for fly. It's more than enough, and Riki secures the kill. Moon is now looking for revenge on Ake. He's already got the 1 sticky
Come
napalm.
over here.
Yeah, he's a little too far away, but Moon, I understand your frustration. You really wanted that kill.
That's the Riki effect. Gets the lane ward up behind the tower. He recognizes there's no Oracle there, and then they go. But mid lane Miracle caught out as the Drow and will fall. That's an equally big, if not bigger, kill.
Did they get the tower bottom lane? They used a Chronosphere by Bulldog, so the tower was taken down by the Radiant. So it looks like Bulldog was going for the deny and didn't quite get it.
I imagine that was the case because he's relatively healthy here.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to solo Chrono on a Medusa. That's just unless he was dying. But even then, It looks like it was just a failed deny, and that's Chronosphere down. First Chrono of the day game now down for 102 seconds.
Loda
Not again.
in trouble. There is no lasso, but Moon's gonna hunt him out. He has the flame break, the blink forward. No mana for a smoke screen, but they still have him. He's got no Sunder. It's a Loda feast up top. How do Alliance adapt at this point? This clearly is not working.
I mean, they could swap the lanes around, but I'm not sure that's really the answer. The thing is, they're getting kills on Miracle, but it doesn't matter because he's finding tower pickoffs and he still has good CS. So, and he's actually second in net worth right now. Miracle's died twice, and he's still fine.
Drow to me is like a bit like Dragonite, where she kind of wins her lane when she hits level 6 simply by existing, because she will punch.
Ulti comes out from no-tail mid lane, and S4 and EGM are now both stoned up.
That cask.
The cask will bounce through like crazy, and S4 and EGM still, there's not enough damage. Great fortune 10 on the 2. Fly's gonna use his Buddha Restoration and actually split up from no-tail. Here comes the Mystic Snake, will do some nice work, but it actually is blocked by Infused Raindrop on one of those heroes, which is the Ogre. So even
OG, like, it feels like they're, you know, they're very impulsive right now. Like Moon he gets the first kill, he sees an Oracle on his own, he's like, okay, I could definitely get this kill. Doesn't stop to do the mid lane. They see the 2 hero cast bouncing, but there was no mana on the Riki. Crit was gonna have to TP home. No mana on Moon. He was gonna have to walk home and buy his items, and they'd already committed Stone Gaze. Drow Ranger out of the picture. Like that was just a time to back away, but yeah. OG maybe a little discombobulated from that very back and forth LGD series earlier. It's not quite as calm, the shot calling, that as what we're accustomed to seeing. I
think they're overestimating some of their damage and realizing that if they don't have Miracle there, it might be kind of tricky. Crit is following S4. Smoke screen might go. Ward's going to be placed behind the tower again, and S4 is looking for a potential arrow target.
Crit is looking for a potential S4 kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a good chance. So smoke screen is late. They still are going to run him over and get the last one. TP's coming in, but it's not going to be enough. No, they have the Fortune dead in time. The Gust is there. Ake will give his life up to kill, or at least
they're going to lose a lot here, Vaughn. This is bad for Alliance. They get the perfect chrono. Even with it, they still lose 2, and they're going to lose the tower. And with the chrono down and only a Bat Rider picked off for it, OG can start looking for tier 2s relatively soon.
That's just...
Chrono is a long cooldown at level 1. This is over 2 minutes, still about 2 minutes even now before it'll be ready.
Even with the false promise, it wasn't enough. S4 was like stuck in place for the longest time.
It was a great false promise. It was just too late. Like he was already taking incredible amounts of damage from the Firefly, and at that point, the other thing was they TP'd like on top of the smoke screen. So for a split second there, they were having trouble even getting involved in the fight after the TPs.
So Miracle, all things considered, despite those 2 deaths that we keep talking about, he's doing very well. Aquila, Wraithband, and Power Treads. But Crit is looking and hunting for Bulldog. They have that ward there again. These wards are really helpful.
Just look at the vision OG have. This is absurd. They see everything right now.
They don't even need that ward top anymore that was placed behind the tower, but Arrow's going to come through. S4 will not be able to hit it, and Bulldog's able to back away, seeing that Moon is nearby. Moon with, of course, the drum build that he's used to going. No blink yet this game. He'll get it a bit later, and he's kind of far away, but they are just going in. They still have a drum charge to use if they want it. There's a leap up on Mirana, so they can't quite find her, and they'll be able to back away.
Oh, Miracle, so confident in the mid lane, which the Alliance, just look at that, you're like, surely this Drow Ranger has her entire team near her, but OG, they push Alliance back in the mid lane, and then they all converge on the top lane. They're going to collapse on the tower, look for the tier 2. This will be claimed freely, and for Alliance, there is no trade, only chip damage on the tier 1 bottom. This is why Drow Ranger is so scary when executed even reasonably well, that you take towers, you don't give up trades, and then you just walk into the mid game with like a 5-10k gold advantage.
Yep.
Very difficult to win from there for Alliance. They're going to have to rely heavily on the chrono and just choose their timings very wisely.
Well, that's the thing, and you talked about it with Chronosphere being down for that long cooldown, so they can't do anything. And even with the Chronosphere, it's just they still have to deal with a lot of damage potentially coming out, especially with the Dragonlance stuff. Miracle can pretty much outrange the Chrono if he's not caught in it, and then he can just kill Bulldog and make sure he gets out of the Chrono and stops attacking his teammates.
You know, the other thing that's really scary about Drow Riki as a duo is generally with Drow you get ahead in towers, so your supports have more gold. But against Riki, you have to have detection. So it's this huge support tax on very poor supports. So they become like just walking creeps to a large extent, unless their positioning is absolutely perfect. Like you can see Ake right now, boots, wand, and wards. That's it.
1,200 net worth, and then the Ogre's not much better with 2,000.
Meanwhile, already Arcane's up on the Witch Doctor, the Riki up to 3k net worth with an Urn, and 800 banked. So potentially Crit going to get that first utility item for the squad soon. It creates a real bad dynamic for Alliance, but for Alliance, great late game potential. Obviously, they have 3 scaling cores. They have the Chrono into the quadruple Starfall combo. If S4 can hit the right arrow and Starstorm timing, they definitely scale well. It's more, will they have the time to do it? Right now, I feel like OG is in total control of the map, of the farm game. They can look towards Roshan soon because they have Drow, they have Batrider to get map control around the pit, and they've taken those outer towers that Alliance are going to normally hinge their defensive Rosh on. So despite how bad the laning stage looked, always from the beginning, and we saw it even early in the gold graph, this was going to be OG's game to lose. As long as they just didn't get completely stomped in the lanes, which I don't think 4 kills is getting completely stomped given the matchup. And now Alliance need good chronos. They have to be very patient.
Just came down to the fact that the Ogre, I think, came up and he killed Moon once, but then they left the dual lane top alone. And that just wasn't enough. Like, if Moon is getting solo kills like that, you know, that's probably an issue. And you need to have your Ogre maybe situated more towards the top lane. Yeah, he killed the Drow twice, but is it worth it in that situation if Loda's not getting farm?
Yeah.
S4 was really the only one in this game that has been getting at least any good net worth. I mean, right now, Loda has caught back up and he's up to 4,000 himself, but it's still a situation where if you're losing him to a solo kill, which is the most important thing, that is a problem.
And they killed Loda, what was it, 2, 3 times?
They killed him once solo, and they killed him twice more with the rest of the heroes rotating up there, including, I think, Miracle at the last gank.
When you kill Terrorblade, not only are you getting a kill on their carry, but you're protecting your offlane tower, which is desperately needed income for a poor Alliance squad. So
and it's barely when it
has a double-pronged effect.
The tier 1 offlane, which is a tower that is so used to
that tower's
down.
always that tower's dead like 80% of the time in a safe lane Terrorblade game.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That tower should be dead right now.
I'm no Nahaz. I'm pulling that number out of my rear, but I'm pretty sure it's well over 50%.
I trust your stats. Your stats right now sound completely fine in this game, but we are waiting on, I believe an audio issue. You're welcome. I'm here just to help. And
I just stroked Mott's arm.
Yeah, we're having a good time today, honestly. OG versus Alliance.
Just like I'm not gonna discuss this.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun, guys. We're here, and I mean there's not much else to talk about right now because it just seems that OG has this advantage, and they're just going to continue to pressure and push it until they get these outer towers. They're going to do what they do with the Drow strat. You're going to push down towers, and you're going to go and have a good time. So.
Yeah, the other looking a bit deeper at the matchup, you have Dusa, who's generally great against illusions. You also have just heavy burst and physical damage, as well as multiple long duration silences with the Cloud and the Drow silence. So I worry a little bit about Terrorblade being able to A, have an impact even with farm, and B, get the Sunder off. Sure, you have Oracle, but we saw like if you're really that low in the fights, you run in to commit and then they just drop a silence on you. You don't get Sunder off, or they've already used one, they drop the second, or they lasso you after that. So Oracle has a lot of work to do this game, and I think A, you need good chronos, but B, Ake has to play like absolutely flawless with no net worth when the enemy sports have already double or triple that.
I think it's doable. I think with a Terrorblade and he gets
it's gonna have to be a standout performance from Ake.
If he gets his Dragonlance, which he's gonna have within, he actually has enough money now. If he gets his Dragonlance, he's level 4 Metamorphosis. So his damage is there, and with illusions, he can take down some of these squishier heroes. And S4 with his Starstorm, which is also level 4, they have the damage to at least win these team fights with a good Chronosphere. It's just that's what it requires. Bulldog requires a good Chronosphere. They, like you talked about, Ake needs to be very solid on his defensive positioning and making sure Loda stays alive, and everyone else for that matter. But what's going to happen is OG might slow down. They might get Moon his Blank Dagger. It looks like that's not the case, though. They're just going to push him. They're going to take the second to last outer tower in this tier 2.
Slow down. This is a Drow lineup. OG says there is no breaks.
There's no slowing down here.
There are no breaks, I should say. But yeah, they move in bottom lane. They will look for a tier 2. They want to take this tower, ideally the tower mid, and then it's into Rosh, if they don't just go Rosh immediately after this. And for Alliance, I think right now, even if they hit a perfect chrono, it's still going to be extremely difficult to take a fight. They don't have Mirana Ags. Terrorblade just got his Dragonlance, I guess, so that's slightly encouraging, but Crit is ready for this one. He gets the Cloud off onto Bulldog, says, get the hell away, then pops the ultimate. dips
might
into
die.
safety, and he blinks out.
Wow, he is
Crit
not going to die.
completely shuts down the Alliance gank, but they're still going to chase.
Good dust, and now Bulldog. False Promise will come through, but there's the Death Ward coming in as well. Loda going to work on Moon, but not enough still. No tail going to damage on Bulldog as well, and he just gets blown up after the False Promise. Loda with no Sunder is about to fall to Miracle, who just continues to plink a boy with the right click. They're going to chase after EGM. They don't have any more slows available, but that is just...
I'm really surprised they continue chasing after Crit scouted everything out. He got the cloud off. He then used the tricks of the trade to further delay them. Now they hunt S4. Looks like they're just going to rotate to the Roche pit.
The double damage rune do it even faster for Miracle, and God, I don't...
It was already, to me, going to be a very difficult gank, but once OG clearly saw it was coming, it was like nigh impossible. Then on top of that, they execute well. The Gust right as Bulldog jumps in, into a lasso. They purge it off, sure, but it's a false promise used on a Void that just basically runs around. Still though, Mott, they have Chrono up, Roche is low, can they fight?
They're about to get in, they get the Aegis in time, though, but the great Chrono Spear. Crit's still low. This Starstorm, it's enough damage to at least take down one. The Gust will come through, fly, up and ready. He's got the Voodoo Restoration and his wand. Meanwhile, Bulldog able to get out in time. Not enough damage from Miracle at the very least. He's looking to turn around, look to Ake, and look at that damage from the double damage rune. No uphill miss there, and Miracle continues to run and try to find more.
350 damage with that DD. Oh boy, that was like Miracle was just gifted a rapier to start the game. And all of a sudden, OG, 4-man Chrono, they don't have the follow-up damage. No Ags on the Mirana. Terribly not relevant when Metamorph is on cooldown. And OG just punishing them, steamrolling towards a very early lane of Raxia. This is the last outer tower mod. They're going to kill off EGM.
Death Ward comes through into Fire Blast. He's just trying to do anything he can, but the only thing he can do is eventually die.
They see Loda as well. Good cloud by Crit. Can they get more?
Gonna Gust onto 2 now. Bulldog again still in trouble. Can he get out in time? Another great cast coming out from Fly and the Witch Doctor. There's the tricks of the trade. Bulldog trying to TP home. He will, I think,
Loda
survive.
has Sunder and ain't gonna use it. Oh, Alliance just getting pummeled by OG. This is getting ugly.
They at least keep Bulldog alive with a false promise. He's able to TP to the well and actually had some heals going his way, I think, with Purifying Flames. But I mean, it's...
When your silver lining is at least he was able to TP to the well.
At least he lives. If that's your silver lining, then you need to...
They don't have Chrono for 40 seconds. OG playing these cooldowns well. Looking for pickoffs, Moon with the blink in. The zoning jump for now.
Bulldog still with no Chrono for 30, and Moon is just fire flying and sticky napalming, and Miracle's like, I've got a Dragon Lance, we've got plenty of damage, and we're going to work on the tower. I mean, we don't even know what really No Tail's doing. He's only got a first appearance at Yasha, but that seems like it's a ton at this point. Moonlight Shadow's gonna go, and we'll see if they can find that Chrono. It's up in 13.
OG showing Alliance what many teams learned the hard way at Summit, at Star Ladder. You don't give Drow away without a plan. And so far, the plan yet to emerge. Now the Stone Gaze, Bulldog being forced back. Loda will get caught, will die again. 6 deaths on the Terrorblade, yet to claim a kill. And Miracle looking for the punish onto Ake, finds him too. Now they blink forward for EGM. They've got the lasso as well.
Bulldog forced to use the Chrono, but misses on Moon. However, they get the kill with a nice multi-cast proc coming out from EGM, and Miracle is going in a bit too deep. He does have the Aegis, but to be careful. Bulldog is going to get silenced again. The Death Ward, see you later. And the Gust onto S4 as well. 2 or 3 more right clicks should do it, and that, yeah, that'll kill him.
Alliance are getting farmed inside their own base.
I mean...
This is over, and Alliance know it. They call the GG.
That's just Drow Ranger.
If you're gonna play against the Drow, you gotta have a plan. We've seen teams beat it, but it's still difficult, and what Alliance tried to play, they got first blood, 3 more kills after that. Like, if you can't win against Drow from that point, and I don't think they made any horrible mistakes until the game was already out of reach anyway, Ref just wasn't able to beat the Drow.
I agree. I think the only thing